Alright, they both started pretty much at exactly the same time. I'll just let that go. So this track is the most variance in one tries, probably. There's a lot of spinies that players can hit, and they can easily fall off. Lewis having a much cleaner start. Neither of them hit a spiny, but Lewis got through pretty clean. Bisso hit the wall a couple times. They are allowed. This is a non-shortcut competition, but both players are allowed to take the hairpin jump, which has been deemed non-shortcut by the community. So Lewis going risky. He barely misses that one spiny. He makes it through. Wow. Actually, both players make it through. It was very, very close calls for either of them. Bisso almost misses the hairpin jump. Lewis looking strong here. He might be able to go safe on lap 3, but I'm not sure. He'd probably still go risky. That's just kind of in his nature. He's out to a several second lead. He is actually going safe, so Bisso playing it risky. He makes it through the first set, but he's still going to be behind. And he does hit a spiny, so if Lewis hits this hairpin, he's going to take the first track. Oh. Give me 1 second here. Lewis took the first track. Let me just put their times in. Sorry, I had to go out, answer the door for somebody. Alright, interact. $134.92, okay. Alright, so it's now Lewis's pick, and we'll see what he comes up with here. Oh, okay, he picked Calamari Desert. Alright, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. A little early here, let me try to sync them up. Alright, so Lewis out to a bit of a lead here. They've already both used 2 mushrooms, so they're going probably for 201 strat, or maybe 210. I think 201 though. We're going with Bisso's audio here, so I'm going to try to watch Lewis a little more closely. They didn't actually catch their opener time. Alright, both players having a Pretty decent lap 2 so far, looks like. Okay, Bisso misses a mini turbo. Lewis hits a little bit of the sand there. Alright, 35.50 to 35.86. Lewis stretches that out a little bit. So he's gonna barely go around the train. He does go into the sand a little bit, but he's still gonna be ahead. Alright, so he's just gotta head for home with these few mini turbos and then he should be good. Oh, he misses that one. I think he's still in the clear. And yeah. So 146.87. Not sure if that's a PR for Bisso or not. I'm gonna guess no. Alright, so Lewis with the 2-0 lead. He's certainly looked like the strongest player in Division 3 so far, so he's going to want to keep that up. And we'll see what Bisso comes back with. Chaco Mountain, it looks like the pick. Alright. A little bit ahead this time. Let me try to sync that up. Alright, let's see. Right, his stream might be a touch ahead. I just try to fix it. I think we're good. So both players did use a stream already. Lewis looks like he's got a lead. They both get clean hills. But yeah, Lewis has got a 0.83 lead. And Bisso, pretty big mistake there hitting the hill like that. So Lewis is going to go out to more of a lead. Like another couple of mistakes from Bisso. He's got a pretty commanding lead. He's definitely over a second ahead. Some more mistakes there. Lewis with a sub 33, so he's on pace for maybe a 138, which is pretty nice for a Div 3 player especially. Good, very good time. All right, Lewis driving cleanly around here. He PR'd apparently, wow. Nice one. 138.96, Lewis is saying in chat that that's a PR. Good for him. Lewis there, and he's 3-0 lead. A little surprised to hear that he didn't already have the sub, but it's a good time either way. And we're going to Mario Raceway next. Interesting for pick for Lewis, considering Mario Raceway definitely has some variance to it. Players are going to try to cut underneath the mushroom in the middle of the lap. Alright. I am expecting both players to do that. There's a possibility that one of them might go around. Well, we'll find out. Okay, Lewis again a little bit ahead. I think I have this stream synced pretty well, so we'll focus on the race here. Pretty close start so far. Both players are gonna... Oh, both players missed the mushroom cut. Lewis has a much better recovery though. Actually, it's still pretty close because Bisso then went underneath, so very interesting that they're still pretty much synced. Although the way they got here was very, very different. Maybe Lewis is a bit ahead. Yep, 0.19 lead. Mario is a real winner so far. Although, Bisso kind of takes the lead there. And they both got through cleanly. Lewis slightly more so, but he was behind. Oh, Lewis hits a wall. That's a bad mistake. So Bisso is going to have the opportunity to take a track here. I think Lewis is close enough that he can still catch him. Obviously, if Bisso hits a mushroom, it's game over anyway. Oh, bad. Unfortunate for Bisso there. Lewis is going to take this race most likely if he just makes it through the last couple turns. Tough luck for him. He had a chance to take this race. Well, Lewis getting a 120.14, still enough to take the race. Not normally what you would expect a winner to have on Mario Raceway, but... Alright, so with that, Lewis will take the first set. And it will be Bisso's pick in set 2, because the loser of each set gets to pick first in next set. Players have the opportunity to pick any track that wasn't picked in set 1. They can also pick tracks that the other player picked in set 1. And it looks like Bisso is picking DK. Both players are ready. DK is another high variance pick. Makes sense for Bisso to be picking these kind of picks because he's definitely not quite as high ranked as Lewis. So we'll see what they can come up with here. Again, okay, not synced. Alright. They're probably pretty close by now. I hate trying to adjust this because every time I do it, the stream starts skipping a little bit. My encoder is like overloaded. But anyway. Alright, Bisso might be out to a slight lead here, although it's hard to tell if their streams are synced. Both players playing a little sloppy. They both kind of had safe jumps. Oh, that's kind of a bad miss from Bisso there. So he actually will still be 0.15 ahead though. I thought Lewis would have caught him some more there, but apparently not. Alright, see how their jumps are, lap 2. You can gain or lose a lot of time on this jump. You can also miss the jump completely, which is very, very bad. They both had pretty safe jumps. Again, a couple little mistakes there from Lewis, but his overall driving seems to have gotten him the lead, I think. It's pretty close still. A little wide mini turbo entrance there from Lewis. Looks like they both have similar cave climbs. Oh, I must have missed it. Lewis' stream. Lewis gained 0.6 there, almost 0.6, so he's in the lead for sure now. We'll see how their jumps are. Oh, okay. Wow, really aggressive jump from Bisso there. He actually only gets hit twice, so he's gonna, I think, retake the lead from what I'm looking at. He still has to get a good cave. A little bit of a mistake there from Lewis. And we'll see how his cave is. And he takes it safe, which is the right decision. And he's going to take that with 157.74. Pretty close in the end. I think his stream was probably a bit ahead. But he still won by enough. 158.02. Alright, so with that, Bisso wins his first track of the match, and it's going to be Lewis's pick. He, again, can pick anything that he didn't pick set 1, and anything that Bisso picked set 1, he also can pick that. Unsurprisingly, Lewis has picked Choco Mountain. After he PR'd, you kind of understand why. Yeah, that was a good closer from Bisso there. Alright, Lewis's stream's a bit ahead. Hopefully they're pretty close. Neither player shrooming in the beginning. Oh, I guess Lewis shroomed up the hill, so interesting that he can still PR with that strat. I mean, I guess a lot of people could if they just drove really, really well. Lewis definitely with the early lead, but Bisso had the extra shroom, so he catches up a little bit. And it looks like Lewis gets good hills. He has an even better opener than last time. 94. Bad shroom there from Bisso. He's going to lose even more time. So Lewis PR hunting right now. Definitely karting well. Alright, so Lewis maintaining about a second lead, I think. Oh, Bisso crashed there. Lewis again on PR pace. If he gets anything sub 33, it's a PR. And Bisso is just completely slow right now. Yeah, Lewis literally about to pull out another PR, so he's karting really well. At any level, if you get 2 PRs in a row, that says a lot. Wow. Yep, so 138.89 is another Choco Mountain PR for Lewis, and he's gonna... The times are very similar to the first one. He's gonna take the second track of this set, so it now will be 1-1. You don't see that every day, somebody PRing twice, especially someone that's already in the top 100. Pretty crazy. picked Royal Raceway. I'm curious about this pick. I would think that he would want to pick a shorter, more risky track. But we'll see what happens here. I don't know what their PRs are on this track. Both players jumping over the hill. Looks like Bisso actually was a little cleaner there, but TYG, I should say TYG, Lewis might have a slight lead. It's kind of hard to tell if their streams are perfectly synced. They both use the shroom over the grass, as expected. Yeah, Lewis, based on the stream I have, is ahead by a little bit. He does the extra MT around that turn, so that's going to save him even more time. But so a little cleaner back onto the road. And it's very close. Actually, Bisso is 0.05 behind. He does go into the grass there, so Lewis is going to pull out even more. Although he slightly hits the grass, but does seem to get a slightly better hill jump, so it's still a pretty close race. Definitely one of the closest so far. Lewis might be a bit in the head. Yeah, he's definitely in the head. Ahead, excuse me. In the lead. By just a little bit still, though. Yeah, so interesting to see them doing different strats there. It's definitely going to help Lewis. Oh, Bisso misses the mini turbo back on the road, so now Lewis is going to jump out to... He gained 0.24 on him there, so I think he's like almost 0.3 ahead. Alright, pretty similar hill cuts for both players. I think Bisso missed the mini turbo. Could be wrong. Oh, and he drives it in the grass, so it's not looking good for him this race. Lewis shroomed a little early maybe, but he still made it work. At this point, Lewis left out a mini turbo. Maybe he's listening to the stream, I don't know. He's definitely got I would say a half-second lead or so. Bisso missing another mini turbo. Lewis is a late one there, but as long as he gets around this turn well, he's gonna get it. Yeah, and he takes it by a little more than a half-second. 27:31, 26:65. Alright, we'll see what... I think it's Lewis's pick again. Unfortunately, he can't pick Chaka Mountain, so we'll see what he comes up with. To Fraps Snowland. Do the AB spin start over the snow. Lewis cleaner on the turn after it though, so he's going to be in a bit of a lead. The hardest part of this track is the shroom right here. I'm assuming both players are going to shroom to the left, to the hill on the left. Alright, Lewis slightly cleaner than Bisso. The ideal line there is to be between the snowmen, more to the right. And they both went to the left of it. Lewis also having a cleaner first canyon turn. And doing the extra mini turbo, so he's I think 8.4 ahead. Slight amount of snow there, so maybe Bisso can catch up a little bit, but Lewis also taking tighter lines. Oh, he does get extra bounces there, which will cost him just a little bit of time. Generally, when you bounce like that, it's slower. And it looks like, oh, and Bisso pauses. That's going to be a DQ. So Lewis, as long as he just doesn't pause, he's going to win. And then that's going to be set point for Lewis after this. A little surprised to see that Bisso paused. I know he hit a snowman, obviously it's a bad mistake, but Lewis could have missed. He could have gone out of bounds, but Lewis got a really nice jump lap 3 anyway, so doesn't matter. Lewis actually was just karting here, so I can understand his pick. He was PRing the other day, so. Alright, so set point for Lewis. And it will be Bisso's pick, so we'll see what he comes up with here. So I was picking Cuba Chuba Beach. This pick makes sense. There is variance here on the jump. There's a ramp jump that you can take halfway through the race to cut a large portion of the track. Since there is a ramp there, it is considered non-shortcut. If you miss it, it's basically game over. We'll see if the players do a mini turbo over the ramp. So Lewis does one. Bisso doesn't, but Lewis hits the tree, so that's going to be a big lead for Bisso. That's a big enough mistake that if Bisso can just keep it clean the next 2 laps, and he's going to take this. He's out to a 2-second lead. I guess Lewis just had a bad exit to the tunnel there. And hit that tree, unfortunately. So Bisso wise to take it smart here with the mini turbo, not doing it. He does hit the tree, but he doesn't spin out. Lucky for him. It's actually not impossible here that Lewis takes this. He gained almost a second there. Bisso does still have to play strong, but it's still a good lead. He goes over the ramp, but he's still solidly in first here. Yeah, Lewis misses the jump lap 3, so this is Bisso's race. Takes his second track of set 3. Lewis going out of bounds. Yeah, not his race this time, but he does have the pick for his second set point. I guess Lewis just quit out. Not surprising. Alright, oh, and Lewis goes with Rainbow Road. We're in for a barn burner here. Everybody, if you want to take a short cat nap, then now might be the time. This track's the longest track in any Mario Kart game. At almost 5 minutes. These players might even be a little bit of more than 5 minutes on this track. So it's going to be a long one. So interestingly, Lewis missed the stick to the ground downhill part there. It's actually faster there to release the gas for a little bit so that you're going to stick downhill. And then in this game, if you tap A 3 times quickly, it will bring you right back up to speed. And that's the fastest strategy on that hill, which is called the Tran style. Invented by David Tran, which is why it has its name. Lewis didn't get a Tran style at all, so Bisso is definitely out to the early lead here. You can see that generally Lewis does tend to drive cleaner. I think he might have already caught him. Maybe he's a little bit behind still. It's pretty close though. So Rainbow Road is long enough to make up for a bad Tran style if your opponent doesn't go that fast. So yeah, Lewis actually does take the lead, 0.35 ahead. He does get the Tran style lap too. So he's looking pretty good. Bisso had a good one also, but it appears that Lewis's driving is just better here, so there are chain jumps on this track that if you hit one, you lose about 2.5-ish seconds, I think. 2.5, 3. So they are always on a cycle, so if you know what their cycle was, then it's pretty easy to avoid them, but if you mess up a lot, then you'll be on a different pace than you're used to. Lewis is definitely out to a bit of a lead here. Bisso generally seems to be driving better than lap 1. He misses the mini turbo after the shroom though, but it looks like Lewis might have also. They both safely go underneath the chain chomp there. Lewis definitely in the lead. Oh, he does mess up there, but so does Bisso. They both wind up going around the chomp. If they had messed up a little bit later, then it might have been both of them hitting the chomp. Seems like Bisso's generally had a better end of the lap. Bisso actually sees flashing numbers. He gains 0.04. I'm not sure if that's a PR. Again, like, I don't know. Not everyone plays with their non-shortcut cartridge. I think TYG... I keep saying TYG. That's the young gun, which is Lewis. He does seem to be ahead here. Seems to be pulling ahead just a bit more. So if he can bring this home without hitting any chomps, most likely he'll take the race, which would be the second set. Sets are best of 4. Or sorry, best 4 out of 7. And oh, Bisso hits a chomp there. So if Lewis plays it safe, he's going to take home the second set. Doesn't even need to go fast now, just needs to avoid the chomps. Yeah, the sets are best of 7, and there are a maximum of 5 sets in the match. The first player to win 3 sets will take home the match, and Lewis is about to go up. He misses the last chomp, so he is going to take the race. He's about to go up 2-0, and again, it will be Bisso's pick after this because the pick goes to whoever lost the last set. After 2 sets, the picks do reset, which means that any track can now be picked that's been picked by either player before, so I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Lewis go for Choco Mountain. Bisso probably will go for Yoshi Valley, if I had to guess, but we'll find out. Bisso is going to take a short break here. So we'll see what he comes back up with after this. So you guys just... You can slowly wake up from your naps from Rainbow Road and join us in a minute or two here. We'll see what Bisso comes up with. Like the score of the Packer game. Alright, looks like Bisso's ready, and we're actually going to start with a different pick. Luigi Raceway. So we'll see how he does. This track is... Most people consider it pretty easy. It's very basic, although the mushrooms are hard. But players will be doing straight stretch mini turbos, which means they're going to be doing mini turbos on the straightaway. And those are difficult to pull off. Trying to sync the streams up here. I think I have them. Interesting, Lewis uses 2 mushrooms on lap 1. You seem to have less clean of a lap. It's a little bit hard to tell. So, the strategy here on this track, most people use 1 shroom on one of the laps and 2 shrooms on another of the laps. The fastest way to get around here is the 2 shroomer, most people would think, but at the same time, you don't have 6 mushrooms, so you have to use 1. Okay, so we'll see how close they are here. It looks like Lewis actually is still ahead. It's definitely even closer than it was. And the last lap they'll use no mushrooms, so they'll just drive on the track normally. It's alright to hit the wall tunnel there. The tunnel wall. Oh, Lewis drives into the grass a little bit, so it's gonna actually be a little closer. But Lewis does still take it by 0.14. Just had a slightly worse ending there, but he was in the lead enough for it not to matter. Will we see Chalk Mountain again from Lewis is the question. And we do. Not surprised in the least. Will he make it 3 for 3? That would be pretty hype. See that he had a weird entrance to the grass lap one there. Alright, here we go. Will Lewis PR a third time? That would be crazy. So I'm gonna follow Lewis mostly here. Pretty clean so far. He uses this uphill shroom, which is a little slower, but good lap so far. He is ahead of Bisso. Does a pretty good job around that turn. Hasn't missed a mini turbo yet. And he gets good hills. Another 91 or 9x. That was faster than his opener last time, but that bump right there is probably going to make it impossible for him to PR. Unfortunate for him, but now he's just got to bring it home. And Bisso is still pretty close here, actually. Probably a half second. Seems to be extending his lead a little bit. Gets good hills there. Yeah, he's going to need a crazy closer if he wants to PR. It's not out of the question. A little bit... Oh, he's not... Yeah, not going to happen. Not after that big wall bounce. But still looking at probably a low 139, low to mid. So it'll be a decent enough time for him to take home the race if he can just bring it home safe. And here he goes. Yeah, he gets clean. He's been getting clean hills a lot. Good for him. But yeah, he takes a race by 0.52. And so he's already up 2-0 in this possible last set here. Lewis has been around a lot longer than Bisso, so it's understandable why, you know, he would be doing better in the match so far. I'm not sure exactly how long Bisso has been around. Definitely not longer than 1 or 2 years. To my recollection, anyway. Alright, looks like we're going to Moo Farm. And this is the first time I think this track has been picked. So, this track is one of the most hated in the game. Most players, actually, it is their least favorite. Because there are moles that can pop out of the ground here in different spots. And if you hit one, then you lose a second or slightly, a second and a half, 2 seconds, something like that. You can go outside of the moles here, but it's slower. You can see there's a patch in the beginning. If you go outside of the beginning patch, it loses like 0.15-ish. Lewis, interesting line through the moles. He actually goes through a spot most people don't. He's out to about a second lead. Risky shroom there. If he does that again, like, that's very easily could be trouble for him, but he's got a decent lead. Alright, he just goes around lap 2. Bisso with a slightly riskier shroom. 2490 to 2521, so he gains even more, that 0.31 more. So, oh, he actually came pretty close to hitting that mole. Bisso hits a mole, so assuming TYG, again, I just keep calling him that because that's Lewis. Assuming that he plays safe, wow, I can't believe that he just risked that, considering he knew he was gonna win already. 1:14.53. That's a really good one try time for a Division 3 player. So really great job on 1948. So we're actually now on match point for Lewis, and he's going with Chaco Mountain Joker. So, if you're not familiar, the Joker is something that both players can do once per match, where they actually get to pick a shortcut track. So what this means is that players will be able to use any of the shortcuts on Choco Mountain if they so desire, which there are several. Most likely, players will be trying to jump the hill in the middle of the lap. But it's also possible Lewis was doing some stuff at the Virginia meet. Where he was like driving over the hill. Which I wouldn't be surprised to see him do. Obviously, this track is also home to the infamous Weather Tanko trick. So the first spot that Lewis could... Okay, he didn't try to take that shortcut. Is he actually just trolling Bisso and driving non-shortcut? Bisso missing a couple of the shortcuts he can take, so Lewis well ahead. Oh, I get it. Wow. Lewis, yeah, literally just trying to PR, not shortcut. That's, I gotta say, that's pretty funny. But it's not gonna happen. Too slow. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him... Oh yeah, he's gonna try climbing over the wall. Will he be able to do it? Yes, he gets it. Okay. Although he's on a long tumble, I don't know if this is faster. I'm guessing it's not. This is pretty crazy. Wow. Bisso might actually be able to catch him here. This is just ridiculous. I don't think Lewis intended for it to be like that. Wow. This is pretty funny. Okay, so here we go. Lewis does finally make it over. Bisso makes a shortcut lap 2. Yeah, that was not your ideal shortcut there for Lewis. He lost 20 seconds on that. Bisso gonna line up for the Weather Tanko. And he does not get it. Lewis goes for the normal shortcut and misses it. All he actually needs to do now is play it safe, and he's going to. Bisso can't catch him anymore, so with that, this will be the end of the match. Fairly short work. Lewis made fairly short work of Bisso there. And has definitely established himself as the Division 3 player to beat. Alright, yeah, so with that, Lewis is going to take the match. Good for him. See if I can pull up the what the next matches are going to be here on Speed Gaming. It looks like the next match on Speed Gaming is going to be Haddock versus Brian on Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, PM. Brian was involved in that crazy match with Bisso the other day. So we'll see if they can replicate that match with Haddock involved this time. We have Dan Lunkser versus Zoran on Friday at noon Eastern Time. That'll be a good match. Division 1 battle. We have 2 more matches scheduled. I scheduled both of my next matches with Matthias, but those are not for another couple weeks. So anyway, that's going to do it. Follow... Hopefully you decide to follow either of the players. Twitch. I'm not sure I remember. Let's see. Yeah. I think if someone posts the command, you might be able to follow the streamers. I don't have their stream titles up. I'm assuming it's Bisso20, and I think it's Lew Gaming, Lew Gaming. There might be an exclamation point there, not sure. But anyway, that's gonna do it from me. Thanks for watching, and have a good night, guys. Thanks.